How to recover after being fired from your job. As a 20-year career coaching veteran, I have helped literally thousands of people over the years bounce back after getting fired. Many of them for the very first time and after it taking them completely by surprise and crushing them. So I want you to know there's light at the end of the tunnel. And the 5 things I'm going to share with you today are things that I know that are tried and true that are going to help you get back on track faster. So the first step that you want to take is you want to find somebody that you really trust, and one person, okay, that you really trust, and let it out. The person that you can just say everything you need to say about what happened. You know, whether you need to cry, yell, whatever it is, there's got to be that one person that won't judge you for it, that wants you to let it out so that you can really process some of the emotion, okay? It's so important that we feel, because again, this is something that felt out of our control. It feels unfair. We're frustrated. We're sad. We want to let those emotions out to one trusted person. Now, why one person? You don't want to start going around town telling everybody. You don't want to be negative to everybody you see, because people remember that. And I'll be honest with you, there are a lot of great job opportunities out there that you can get through networking. So if you go around complaining to everybody that you know, all your friends and all your family, in grand detail about why you got fired, they're going to remember that. And then all of a sudden, if they know somebody at a company you'd like to work for and you go to them and say, will you recommend me? Some might, but some might not. All based on how you reacted. So that's why you really want to keep it to one person. The goal is to just let it out, not get out there and have a whole narrative around you being fired, okay? Now, once you've done that, step 2 is to write out the story. This is the therapeutic part. So all of us have a narrative in our head of what went down. It's sort of our career story. So you want to write out in a lot of detail, honestly, exactly what happened. Like, where do you think it all started? What led up to it? What went down? How do you feel about it? You write out that entire story in detail. You put it away. You bring it back. You read it out loud to yourself. You make more edits. The goal is you want to get that story to the place where you're like, yep, that's it. I've got nothing else to add. That's the story. This is you processing it in your head and not allowing it to continue to swirl around and take up space, okay? We're getting out of your head onto paper once and for all. The third step is then to rewrite that story. And you're saying, well, how's that possible? The story is the story. Actually, it's not. Every story we tell is subjective. In fact, there are times in our life where we can be so sure that the story is this way, but as time passes, what? The story changes. The story changes because we get new information, or we realize something, or we grow. And so that story that you're telling right now that you have on paper, it's actually temporary. That story won't be the same 6 months from now, a year from now, 10 years from now. And so what I want you to do is speed up the process of changing that story. So the way that you do that is you go through and you look for all of the really emotional and subjective text, the stuff that's really, for lack of a better word, dramatic. Neutralize it. Pick new words. Pick words that make it sound more factual and less emotional. Okay? And that's going to help you start to neutralize the drama in your head, because that's where we need you to get. You're going to have to get to a place where you're like, it is what it is. Okay? So going through and changing the story so that it's just more natural, like it is what it is going to make you realize that. And that's very, very important, because the 4th thing you're going to do is get back in the game. We've got to get you back out there. You see, you didn't do anything wrong. Maybe you made a mistake, but a lot of times when we get fired, we think there's something wrong with me. I'm a bad person, or they saw me as a bad person. I don't feel like I'm a bad person, but that's not it at all. You just weren't a fit for the job. For whatever reason, you weren't a fit for the job. That doesn't make you a bad person. There's nothing wrong with you, my friend. So we got to get back in the game and get over this, but you've got to stop that negative self-talk. You've got to stop taking it in and assuming this was an attack on you, which is why we rewrite it so it's neutral, but also why we get back in the game and realize time to move on. That is it. We've got to cut our losses and go move on. This was not my fault, but I can learn from it. I can grow from it. I am not a bad person. Okay, so we get that all in our head and we get going, which leads to step number 5. And this is probably my favorite part. It's time. The best revenge in a situation like this is a better job. And let me tell you how many times I have coached somebody and they have ended up in a new job after being fired and said, oh my gosh, getting fired was the best thing that ever happened to me. I probably would have stayed at that job. This job is a way better fit for me. I'm getting paid more money. I've got better hours, better coworkers. That place was toxic. This place isn't. This happens so much more frequently than you realize. sometimes getting fired is a blessing in disguise. And I'm sure people are going to blow up my comments and tell me that. I know a lot of you out there have been fired and have lived to tell and can say, hey, it turned out better. So again, step 5 is that revenge career. And that's what we're doing here. If you've made it this far, congratulations, my friend. You've been open to listening already tells me you're a talent and that it's time to move on from this. And with that in mind, I'm here to help you. So if this helped, help me back. It's free. Like and follow me here and keep posting your amazing questions. I'm trying to answer as many as I can to give you all the free help that you need and deserve. And if you're looking for some more structural resources on job search, I've got a huge set of free resources and tools linked in my bio or down here. You pop your email address in, it tells me where to send them, and you get instant access. Again, I'm doing everything I can on this app to help you get the information you need to succeed. But please remember, getting fired is a rite of passage. It's a learning moment in our career, and what we choose to do with it will determine how successful we are. So with these 5 steps I gave you today, this is the framework that I've helped thousands of people work through and come out better on the other side. And I want you to be one of those people too, okay? Good luck. Go get them.